it's tough. So if you guys do not understand what's going on, just to give you some context, at the CrossFit Games, CrossFit is deeply saddened by the death of a CrossFit Games competitor. This competitor's name is Lazar Dukic. Dukic. Um, and this was event one. So it was literally the first event at the 2024 CrossFit Games. And they are fully cooperating with authorities, and the remainder of today's events have been suspended, and the well-being of the competitors is the first priority of this tragic event. So they're going to have to, like, either chalk to... I don't know how they're going to continue the CrossFit Games if you're somebody who enjoys CrossFit or anything like this, but it just blows my mind that... And this is kind of a graphic video. We're going to pick this apart. But as the event was running a 5K, 3.2 miles, and then swimming 800 meters. And this is the home stretch. And it blows my mind that this is where this tragic event takes place. And if you look, I believe we're seeing it right here at the top. Everyone else, you could see arms, heads, movements, right? There's some effort, there's some struggles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 stops. And he's never at a time where he's really able to catch his breath. You could just see him struggling. And this is just so hard to sit there and watch, because I think what people are watching at is you have a guy named Brent Fikowski coming out of the water and Tia Toomey, which this is the biggest story, is Tia coming out of the water. I mean, good for Brett. Brett's a beast. He's a long-standing games competitor. Tia was just recently a mom and gave birth and is coming back and is just dominating, right? So I think people are just like so impressed with Tia that they were not noticing that the person out here struggling, needed some help. And what's the most frustrating thing about this is right here are lifeguards, people on paddle boards. How does this happen? How does this happen? And from what I understand, there was somebody around here jumped in the water to try to help. But one of the lifeguards of the paddleboard was like, "Hey, get back! You're a spectator. You can't be in the water while these athletes are competing." And I want to. How does this happen? And this is where, see, look, Lazar is gasping for air and appears to drown before the finish line. It's messed up that the CrossFit Games didn't have lifeguards on jet skis. A spectator jumped in to help but was turned away by a lifeguard on a paddleboard. Heartbroken. Ugh. CrossFit Games being dangerous and reckless. Say it ain't so. Now someone has to potentially drown. Just sad. Wish I could say CrossFit HQ has a history of taking care of the athletes. Tragic. Ugh. This is so upsetting. Drowning in it's usually someone slipping underwater. Quietly, brightly colored swimsuits are vital for water safety. Oh, okay. I see what they're saying here. And this is definitely the thought, the energy that I think a lot of the people have right now, is that the CrossFit Games has a history of putting their athletes in a compromised position for the sake of the sport and being crowned the fittest. Today, their negligence cost Lazar Dukic his life. Dave Castro needs to be held responsible for this. Completely avoidable and devastating. And I mean, I was talking to my mom a little about this. My mom's a nurse, fantastic, and she and I were talking like what are some of the things that could happen, and as you don't want to admit this, but there's only 2 people that we could see out there on paddle boards and presumably there to help. But if they're looking at somebody struggling and they're seeing a roar and they're like, oh look, Tia's over here, and then someone goes down, then they have no idea where they're at. They maybe assume that they're forward ahead, and they're not looking at Lazar like, okay, this person. They're just looking at the whole body, and as this person slips in dark lake water, it's just he got missed, and that's such a Oh, it's devastating. And I work out at a strength and training gym. We definitely do CrossFit, but we're not a CrossFit gym. Or it's not a CrossFit gym, and I'm not a part of that community. Or I am. You know what I'm trying to say here. Um, I am a part of that community. I'm glad to be a part of that gym. They've definitely the past month of being there has been fantastic, and I feel like I've had a lot of progress in the gym. Feel like I'm gaining strength. I'm getting my confidence back, but it sucks because I used to really enjoy watching CrossFit, and then I got out of it, depressed, whatnot, coming back, getting back into it. Excited to watch the CrossFit games this year. So when I'm watching the live stream, I just noticed it cut instantly away, and I happen to go on Twitter, and then like an hour or two later, this is coming out. You're like, what in the world? And then we go to the gym today, and it's like this. We can't even talk about anything else other than like, yo, did you hear what happened? And uh, I just I would like to. I'm definitely gonna follow up on this story because I want to know what happened. Did he? I want to know what the autopsy is. Is his lungs filled with water? Did he go into a cardiac arrest? Was he? Did he get into a state of panic? Like, what actually happened?